Hey, this is JC and welcome to Small Brick City. Today we're going to have a look at this Technic set 42092, a rescue helicopter. There are actually two models in one. One is a concept plane, one's the helicopter. So we're going to focus on the rescue helicopter. I'll be the first to admit I'm not really into Technic. I appreciate the intricate designs and builds and the highly detailed looks and replicas that they can create. But I think I'm just not a fan of the scale because they can't fit into a LEGO city, and while they may be scaled to the real thing that they replicate, there isn't much of a scale amongst the models themselves. And you can't really do anything except display them after you build. However, I was looking for a rescue helicopter for the metro section of Small Brick City. I looked around at some recent releases, but there's nothing that really worked for me. There was the Coast Guard helicopter, but I didn't like that. I wanted something that could fit my urban city. I've got an elevated train station MOC, and I wanted to have a helipad on top for emergency services because Metro City is very dense, so I thought it would be good to have a helipad on a government or public building where emergency services can land in the event of emergency down in the city below. I didn't want to look at older sets because I didn't want to pay a premium for retired sets. So I found this 2019 Technic set, and what drew me to this helicopter was the fact that it was a rescue helicopter, the colors, and more importantly, the scale. It looked like it could fit my LEGO city or a LEGO city in general, so I got it. We got it built, and I must say that the scale is almost right. But then again, all these large vehicles like planes and helicopters aren't really in scale. When you think about it, all these city sets, they're generally too small. Like the planes, they are way too small for a real commercial airliner. So I think we can give a bit of leeway and latitude, and that's the case for this particular model. In terms of the overall size, I think it's just a little bit big, but that's okay. But in terms of the cockpit size, it's actually small for a minifig. Now let me show you what I mean. No minifigs come with this set, so I use this guy over here. He's got a helmet on. You can see he just fits in just like that onto the seat, but this top bar is blocking his view. So what you can do is just move this up a bit. Doesn't really change the design of the chopper too much, I feel, and at least he can see. However, the main problem is because there aren't any seats and there's no way to secure him down. If you are piloting the chopper, it's very easy for him to just fall out and die, or he just moves around like that. So that's a bad thing if you want to integrate it with LEGO City. But I've got a modification which I'll show you in just a bit of how you can change up chairs in here so that the minifig will be secure. But before I do that, let me show you or give you a quick review of this helicopter in the event you might get it for a LEGO City. It is very realistic. Now all this is open, there's no glass, so that's the only thing unrealistic about it. But in terms of an overall look, it does fit the part. All these are sticker parts, and the rest is the rest are prefab parts held together with the usual Technic connectors and pins. Several doors can open up on the side over here. These for the cockpit can also hinge down, and you have some cargo area over here. If you actually break down this stretcher, you can actually just fit it into the cargo area. It's a very tight squeeze, but you can fit it in. Speaking of this stretcher, it is minifig scale and there are studs, so that's great. You can take an injured guy and put him on the stretcher, and then you can take this hook and hook the stretcher and you can fly off. So that's pretty cool. This winch can actually move. There is a moving part here. You can turn this knob so that the winch can go up and down, and this is a common feature with even some of the city vehicle sets. But like all Technic sets, there are moving parts, and this is no different. The rotary blades can actually move, and you can see they're actually connected because if you turn the big one, the small one moves. And the great thing is there's a control at the bottom, and you can hold the helicopter with one hand, and you can use one of your fingers and just turn it just like that. So that's a really nice feature. So you can actually hold and fly the helicopter, but turn the blades with just one finger underneath. So that's a nice play feature. Overall, very realistic. I talked about the scale already, and Generally, if you're looking for a rescue helicopter for a LEGO city, I would recommend this. So now let's talk about the modification. So you will need some parts for the modification. You will need 2 of these Technic connectors with plates. There are 4 studs on top. You need 2 of them. You need 2 chairs. These are regular LEGO chairs. I chose blue just to match the original colors. And you need 2 of these pins. These are Technic pins and connectors. There's the standard connector over here, and this is a cross pin. You need 2 of these. These are optional, and it's just to hold up the top bar in place, as I'll show you in just a bit. Alright, now let's get to the modification and what you need to change up in the cockpit to put in these chairs. So the first thing you need to do is to build it as it is. Don't worry so much about the modification, just have fun and build the set as per the instructions. To do the modification, remove this top bar first, and you can just pull that out and rotate this down. What you want to do is remove these 2 chairs, and you can just turn that down and pull them out sideways, and you can remove, the first thing you got to do is actually take out the 2 side doors of the cockpit, which you just slide out like that. Then you can pull these out. Now there is a pin which you should leave back in that original slot. So this is the pin that held these 2 pieces, so leave that pin inside. Now notice this gray Technic cross pin and these 2 red bracket pieces. We're going to remove those. So the first thing you want to do is to remove the joysticks, and you can actually pull them off together. You do not need these red brackets and the blue connectors. That can be set aside. All you want are the joystick parts. That gray pin, which is inside, you can remove that as well. Now you do not have to worry about the structural integrity of the build. It will not be affected because it's held in place below. Okay, what you're going to do is you are going to take 2 connectors, or you're going to take 1 connector. You do need 1 more of these. I'm sorry. So you get extras within the set, so make sure you have 1 more, because you are going to put this in here, and this will allow you to essentially shift the position of the joysticks. That's it. Now you're going to take those 2 connector parts, or these 2 plates with connectors, and you're going to slot them in the original pin for the chairs. And because they have plates on top, you can take a chair and put them on each of the plates, and this will fit very securely. You don't have to worry about it coming out. Just press that in, and that's it. Now you can replace the 2 helicopter cockpit doors, and you can put back this top bar. And there you have it. That's the modification. You can see I've added in chairs, and it will fit a minifig, except the top bar will be blocking, as you'll see in just a bit. Just as with before, after you put in the minifig, and you can see this top bar is blocking him, so you can just push that up without knocking the visor of his helmet. Yeah. Well, actually you should do this part first. So now remember I told you about these 2 pins, these 2 black pins. They're optional, but what you can do is you can pop them in, because it just so happens there are 2 holes here where you can place these 2 pins in. And once you place the 2 pins in, they act as a stopper so that this top bar will not go down even as you handle it. Now, as I mentioned, originally this was straight. It's changed the design a bit. I'm okay with this. Let me know if you think it's too drastic a change, but personally I think it works. And now I have a minifig who's inside the helicopter, and he can do all kinds of stunt maneuvers and will not fall to his death. And that is the modification for the rescue helicopter. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Technic Rescue Helicopter, and I hope you enjoyed my modifications for fitting and seating a minifig in the cockpit. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and let me know if you're considering getting this set for your custom LEGO city. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, talk to you soon.